Mr. Marshall, you get to go first. Do you have a question for the people in the world?
Well, I have 4. Is there any proof the Bible is real?
Wow. Is there any proof the Bible is real? Now, by real, do you mean what's written in the Bible, like the stories?
Yeah.
Well, there's some proof. There are other things that we don't have proof about. For example, what's a good one? Oh, you know what? There are sometimes things that people find in the field of archaeology. And that means that when people go digging around very old places, they find remnants from the past. So it's like digging up fossils, except for in archaeology, you're not digging up fossils, you're digging up artifacts from people who lived a long time ago. So there have been some stories about how they found some things that look like chariot wheels in the bottom of the Red Sea. What story would that relate to? Do you remember anybody going through the Red Sea? Have you heard of a story about people crossing the Red Sea?
Yes, but I do not remember what it's called.
Okay, well, there was a person named Moses back in the book we call Exodus. And Moses led the Hebrew people out of Egypt after the Passover. And God sent Moses to lead them across the Red Sea so they could get to the promised land. And Moses is the one that told Pharaoh, let my people go. And they got to the sea. And Moses put his staff towards the water, and the sea parted. God made a dry path through the sea, and the Hebrew people passed through. But when the army came to capture them with their chariots, God made the waters wash over the army so that the Hebrew people were safe once they got to the other side. So maybe there's some chariot wheels still at the bottom of the Red Sea from when God led the Hebrew people through.
Daddy, what other thing after you said?
Which thing?
The one of the I don't remember.
Moses?
No.
Exodus?
No.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
So like the
Chariot?
No.
The staff?
The sick girl?
The what?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, if you remember, you let me know, okay?
Okay.
Then there's other things, other kinds of proof. Can you think of any proof about the
Daddy,
Bible?
It's close. It's hard to see because it's like this right here and
Oh, the soldiers?
no. It's not the soldiers in the Bible. It looks like I don't know what it looks like.
Okay.
It does. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, that's all right. If you think about it, you let us know. Can you think of any proof about the Bible? Do you have any stories that might?
Yeah. The question. A story.
Yeah.
A story.
What?
Why do we have to cook while we're if something's ready and we just be excited and eat a little bit and then you put it and then it's time to get ready to school and you didn't finish it.
Yeah, I'm not sure really what the question is, Mila.
That was the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Marshall one more question and we'll come back to that one. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. All right, Marshall, did we answer your first one? Are you ready to move on to the second one?
Yeah. In the story where the girl was really sick, did the girl really die or was she just asleep?
That's a good question. So there's a couple stories about Jesus raising people from the dead. And the way the story goes is that she had really died. So when I read that story, I believe that she really did die, that she wasn't just sleeping, and that Jesus brought her back from the dead, just like his friend Lazarus, and just like a couple of other people in the Bible. Because if he can wake them up from sleep, then he can also wake them up from death. Because that's the story about Easter, is when, even though Jesus died, he rose from the dead. That's how powerful God is.
Daddy, what's powerful?
What's powerful? Okay, that's a good question. Powerful
No,
means,
I didn't. That's not my question. Good. What was my question?
okay, I'll talk about being powerful and then you can ask your question, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so Marshall, maybe you can help answer this part of the question. What does it mean to be powerful?
It means that you are, well, I don't really know how to explain it, except.
Yeah. Being powerful is kind of like, some of Mila's favorite movies are actually about superheroes, like the Avengers, Infinity War, Ragnarok, Endgame. Mila loves those movies, and they have powers. And the one who has all the stones is the most powerful in those movies, but those are just pretend. We believe God has even more power than what you see in those movies, that God has all the power. And that's what it means to be powerful.
Okay.
Are you ready now?
Oh,
She's getting a little help.
is Jesus and God the same person?
Are Jesus and God the same person? That's actually a complicated answer. The short answer is that Jesus is God. But Jesus is not the same person as God the Father. But the Father is God. But God the Father is not God the Spirit, but the Spirit is God. So all three of those persons are one God. And God is not God without all three persons. But God is still one. So God is not like, it's not like we have three gods. It's that those three persons together are God. So Jesus is God. That's the quick answer to that question. We call that the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's like an equation. I think we've talked about that before.
The Holy Spirit is also the Spirit God, so it would make more sense if you said that, because it makes no sense when you say that. But I still got most of it.
Okay, cool. Okay, Marshall, I think it's your turn.
Okay. 3. Does St. Patrick's Day have to do anything with God?
It does. Hey, Mila, Marshall's asking us a question. We're going to talk about St. Patrick's Day, okay? Can you come sit down while I answer his question?
Jesus is God.
He is God, yes, that's right.
I thought it was going to be no.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. Usually somebody who's called a saint, it means that they're really special in God's eyes. Someone who's a saint, that word saint is the same meaning as the word holy. So St. Patrick lived a very long time ago. And I'm gonna get beat up if I don't give the right year, but it was sometime a few hundred years after Jesus. And at one point he was a prisoner, but then somehow got out. And then over time, he became a Christian. And after he became a Christian, he became a missionary. And a missionary is someone who goes to different parts of the world to tell people about Jesus. So he went to a place called Ireland, to preach to them about Jesus. And he used a 3-leaf clover, according to legend, to teach people about the Trinity. He showed them a 3-leaf clover. How many leaves does a clover have? That's a trick question, right? Most of them have how many?
3.
3 leaves. So he took a 3-leaf clover and he showed them that the 3-leaf clover has one petal that signifies the Father, one that signifies the Son, and the other signifies the Holy Spirit. And the clover is not complete without all 3, but neither is the petal. So you have to have all 3 in order to make up one clover. Now, that's not the best illustration for the Trinity, but it helped people in his day learn about the Trinity. There's also a really funny story about snakes with St. Patrick, but we might have to save that for another time. So St. Patrick's Day really is about God.
You know what? What?
Okay, he's gonna ask another question, okay? Let's listen to his question. Come here.
Why do some have 4 leaves if it's just to explain God with Jesus and the Holy Spirit with 3?
Yeah, that's a good question. Sometimes you do get a 4-leaf clover, and those are hard to find. But you know, part of the Trinity, the Holy Trinity with God being 1 and 3 and 3 and 1, is that the 3 create a 4th, and that 4th is all of us. So when you see the 4-leaf clover, maybe that includes creation, all of humanity, and all of the creature, the moon and the stars and the sun, and the whole universe is that 4th leaf. That might be a fun way to think about that. All right, Mila, do you have a question?
Yeah.
What's your next question?
Why, when I got my puppy, after Christmas, but he's already out of my mommy's tummy, and he jumps on me. I'm gonna get a Band-Aid, and then I'm gonna let my puppy be on the floor. And
Okay.
then here.
That sounds good. Except for puppies come from a different place. But yes, we are going to bring a puppy home soon. That's exciting. Yeah, that's what you were going to say. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, do you have another question, Marshall?
I have one more.
Okay, let's hear it. You ready, Mila? Let's listen to his 4th question. Okay, let's hear his next.
Listen to Marshall.
When did St. Patrick's Day first become a holiday?
Oh, I actually don't know the answer to that, but you know who might?
What?
Google.
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 So I don't know the answer to that question. I'll have to look that up. But I can tell you when it wasn't.
I think Daddy's already looking at us.
See.
It was a holiday after St. Patrick became a saint.
Hmm.
So it's like he read the future. It's like the holiday read the future.
Maybe the holiday read the future.
Or later.
Did you find the answer?
Questions. And so I guess possibly Friday.
When did it become a holiday? Did you find the answer?
I didn't.
You know?
It was not helpful.
No. Wow.
I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but it was pages.
I will have to look that up and put it in the comment for our video tonight. Well, thanks for the good questions, Marshall. I appreciate it. Let's do it again sometime soon, okay? You got one more? Okay, Mila's got one more. Maybe Marshall can help us with Mila's question. What's your question? Do you have a question?
Yeah.
About God or the Bible or church?
The church.
Okay.
If someone wants to talking to someone like at school, but when one of my teachers talking, someone talked over them, and then they had to wait for the bin. That means they have to be on the list.
Okay. That sounds good. So we don't want to be on the list, right?
That means you're being bad
Oh,
at school.
okay. All right. Well, I think that's going to end our questions for the night, but we'll see you next time.